Right.
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show. Oh, you know what it is and what it do. You're officially tuned into the Revolution Radio Show on 102.3 FM, KCAA in the Inland Empire, worldwide on the NBC Radio Network and on the iHeartRadio app. As always, I'm your man's and them, J Love, a.k.a. Uncle Jiggy. I'm joined all the time by the statesman himself, Mr. Farron. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. How's everybody doing today?
I think pretty fantastic.
Yes,
beautiful
two
day.
Thumbs up.
2 thumbs up from the First Lady, Miss Intern Lillian. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday.
Yeah.
Midday.
It's a beautiful day. It's hot. And the weather yesterday was hot.
It's that time
and the weather tomorrow will be hot.
Forecast is hot.
Climate change, y'all.
Yeah.
It's hitting us.
There is a lot of, man, you had mentioned something, man. You know, I know Lillian always brings up the news, but you mentioned something real quick. What happened?
Yeah.
So Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes, my hometown.
Middle school, yes.
What middle school?
At the lunch hour, there was a shooting. Let me see. School.
That's crazy. I wonder what middle school.
They're not gonna tell me what middle school it is. I guess they wait for more details to surface because it just happened, like literally, like a couple hours ago.
I'm looking. It says, 2 hours ago, 2 students were believed to be 13 years old.
13.
Albuquerque middle schooler fatally shot. Washington Middle School. Okay, I know exactly where that is. I know that was your territory. So I was like, yeah, man. Yo, man, love, prayers, condolences, peace, all that to the families, to them students. I know, especially, anytime a shooting is tragic, man. But when it's kids like that, they, especially middle school, because there's a lot of emotions and
vulnerable age, man.
Yeah, trying to figure yourself out. Middle school is the time when you can literally, in the course of those 3 years, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you can go through 37 different fads. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen kids like start out like nerd, go to like a punker, go to like rockabilly, go to, you know what I mean? Like, they just keep I'm figuring it out.
I had the rockabilly phase.
You did the rockabilly phase?
Yeah, I used to wear like, the high-waisted shorts and like the polka dot like tops and the skirts and all that. I loved it. And especially since we were always reading those types of books. And what is it?
Was it The Outsiders?
Yeah, The Outsiders.
That's just a trigger, huh?
Wow.
I just felt like I was an old soul, living in the new.
Look at Lillian. Look at Lillian being
I still love all the rockabilly and 50s, like the dresses and everything. They're so beautiful. So I always have that in my heart.
A rockabilly.
Is that the Grease days? Is that what you pointed to?
Yes, like that, like the Greasers. Yeah, like they do that like 50s type style, the rockabilly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I know a guy who literally, and I've known this dude at least a good 25 years, and he's been rockabilly that whole time.
Whoa!
And I'm pretty sure he was rockabilly before I met him. You know what I mean? But like he's like legit. But he's like one of the top rockabilly artists, right? Like he has a band called Pachuco Joe, and I think it's like Pachuco Joe and the Familia or something like that. But he's like literally like legit like the number one rockabilly guy.
Whoa.
That is so cool. People who do that and like they live their everyday life like in the 50s and rockabilly ages. It's so amazing.
Yeah,
how they just dedicated themselves to it.
I will say this though. I'm taking points away from him because I'm still holding the grudge.
God.
I'm holding the grudge.
You took your girl with that look?
No, definitely. Are you crazy? Get out of here. My swag is official. Get out of here.
Oh, it takes a leather jacket,
Right? I was saying, we talking about
my swag is too crazy. No, the grudge I'm holding is because in 1999, we had a Christmas party for the youth leaders.
What year is it?
2021
now?
He talks about me, right? He
talks
about me healing from my past.
Listen, we had a youth leaders Christmas party. And we had a gift exchange. Okay. A gift exchange. And this dude,
what did he get you?
A CD from his car.
Hey.
So he regifted you something
from his car.
Was it opened or was it
sealed? No, like he wrapped it like, oh, I'm like,
he probably forgot.
I didn't get nothing. Let me go just wrap this up real quick.
How you know it was from his car?
Because I heard him telling someone else.
Oh.
Like over there in the corner, like, yo, I forgot a gift. I just went and grabbed the CD from my car. But when I heard him, I didn't know it was for me. So I was
and then
like,
when he came up to you, like, here's the gift.
I was like,
you're like, oh.
Ooh, like, I can't even say the words I want to say right now. I'm supposed to be a Christian. I can't even put some exclamation marks on this.
Nope.
I had to sit there and be like, thank you very much.
Well, it's a thought that counts, right?
There was no thought. That's the point. There was no thought in that.
Hey, that was one of his CDs.
Yeah, he could have gave you nothing. He'd have
that was the CD that he didn't care. That was the CD like he looked real quick, like I don't really listen to this one. Like he didn't give me his favorite CD.
Maybe
it wasn't like, dude. It wasn't like, hey man, look, I know this is just a CD, but I want you to understand. When I was 7 years old, my granddaddy gave this to me, and he used to listen to it. And every time, excuse me, every time I listen to the CD and think about my granddaddy, and I'm giving it to you, that would have been something.
You would have accepted that,
yeah. But he gave me the like, you know what? I ain't heard this one in 8 months. I'm gonna go ahead and give him this one.
Was it at least a good CD that had something
no,
good to play on there?
It was like one of those ones, you know, when Kmart was open and they had those bins, like pick 5 CDs for 38 cents.
Oh wow, one of those.
Yes, it was one of
random
those.
Ones.
Yes, it was one of those.
I'm sticking to that's a thought that counts.
Yeah. I mean, he could have gave you nothing.
The cool part is that if anybody paid attention, I said his name at the beginning. I shouldn't.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Well, we watched the show.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Look him up on
Instagram. I'm gonna release the grudge. I'm setting you free.
So we can't have any Christmas gift exchange now because you're.
We could have
I got a lot of CDs.
Listen,
I got a lot
of
CDs.
Gonna give
Did you say CDs? You stupid.
Where's Christmas gift exchanges?
You are so stupid. See, that's why I don't celebrate this pagan holiday. Did I just hurt some people's feelings? Hold on, is this thing on?
Let me call Santa Claus.
Is this thing on?
Where's Santa?
Well, anyway, so let's move on to the next news story. And this is news you don't hear every day, as there was footage of a bear roaming around the halls of a grocery store, just up and down the aisles, looking for some food.
You know what? Water. I saw that one, and I think it was in like Orange County.
LA.
It was in LA.
It was in LA, yeah.
So
that's why it's very strange, because it was in
it was LA,
in the grocery store.
Whose video it was? Tisha Campbell Martin from the TV show Martin.
Oh,
she recorded it.
Yeah, it was her.
That's funny.
That's why it made it to the news. Well, I mean, it would have made it to the news anyway, probably. But it just so happened to be, it was her, right? And people didn't realize it was her because she had a mask on, right? Because the mask mandate. But then she started talking at the end of the video. She's like, I can't believe there was a bear in the grocery store, right? And it was like, yo, that's Tisha Campbell. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And but yeah, I saw that. It was like in not a Whole Foods, but one of those type of stores.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking for some pure honey, huh?
I guess so.
But it was stated that there will be more sightings just like this one, because the bears are coming straight down from the mountain and looking for food and water as the drought worsens. So there's cutting off their supplies in the mountain. So they're starting to come down the mountain, and that's where.
So you mean to tell me that everybody who's seen that bear get up to the front doors of that grocery store just walk by like, hey, boo boo, like, hey.
That's what I was wondering. Like, how did it walk in? Like, and no one noticed at first.
Yeah,
and it just they said it was just walking down the aisles.
Yeah, it was just walking through the. But here's the
coming from the circus, probably.
The good news and the bad news is it was just a baby bear.
Yeah.
The bad news
that means
where
the
there's a baby
was
yes, somewhere the mama bear is somewhere going. Where is bad little
boy?
Yeah, where this boy at? And then you're gonna have some problems. You're gonna get Leonardo DiCaprio from that one movie. You ever seen that movie? What was it called? The Relevant or the Revenant or the movie where he got attacked by a bear? That was vicious, man. This dude, you ain't see that movie? He was out in the woods, and then he was in the woods. See, this is my narration. The white people was in the woods. You know what I'm saying? And then he wasn't supposed to be in the woods, and then the bear got him, mauled him up, and just left him there. Just this dude had to crawl down to the river, like just drag himself to the river and get some water. It was getting some water, and he had to nurse himself back to life. And he slept inside the carcass of a dead horse.
What?
Yeah, because it was wintertime. And then
actually, I think that sounds familiar now.
That part sounded familiar, not him getting attacked by a bear.
Well, I mean, sleeping inside a horse, like that sounds more memorable than bear attack.
To me, the bear was very memorable. That was
not the bear in Whole Foods.
Like who just sleeps inside a horse, like warm.
So but now you know, if you're ever in the wilderness and you need a place to sleep, gut a dead animal, pull out the innards, crawl up on in there.
But that's not the point of this news story. The point is that the drought is getting worse and worse, and we need to be more conscious with our water usage because
I have a question. This is a serious question.
The bears are gonna come and
it's gonna sound silly, but it's a serious question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know when people say when you turn the faucet on and you let the water just kind of drain or whatever, drip, whatever. How is that? Doesn't the water recycle? Like, how is that wasting water? You know what I mean? Like, if you just would turn the faucet on and leave the faucet on for a minute.
It's wasting water, I think, because your bill.
No, but how doesn't it recycle? Like, doesn't that water recycle somewhere?
The only water that it would recycle is like when it goes through the process and like of just cleaning it out and getting it to a suitable water to go back into the systems of houses. But all that process takes even more fumes and damaging our earth as well.
So when I brush my teeth, don't leave the water on.
No, you would turn it off,
brush your teeth,
and then when you're ready to done, you can turn it down, rinse your mouth, or not do that.
My 10-year-old yelled at me.
Shower times.
Yelled at me because I was brushing my teeth with the water on. He said, "You wasted water. It's my water. We talking about waste. This is my water."
See, even your son knows. He's even getting on you.
Whatever. Anyway,
so yeah, there's so many ways we can.
There's a drought. The bears is coming. So all of y'all who live up in the hills, in your little pretty houses, sucks for you right now. Because one of y'all.
You don't think it's from the fires too, or no? No, from
there hasn't really been a lot of fires this year, though, right?
Yeah, from the leftover of the
I just think there's some, like, we've pushed the envelope for so long, like we keep pushing further and further into where the critters are, that the critters are like, look, y'all can't just be coming up in here and think that we ain't gonna knock on your doors. You know what I mean? I mean, because think about it. Like, once upon a time, we didn't live up there. Like one or two people, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't like invade. You know what I'm saying? Like
the little cabins and
and they woods. They kept their carbon footprint. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Their carbon footprint. They kept it to a minimum. They didn't litter. Those people who actually cared about like nature. And then the rest of us was like, hey, that's great real estate because it could look down on all the regular folk. You want to look down on all them. So let's clear all them trees and build some developments up there.
Yeah.
And then, but that's crazy though. So listen, if y'all live in the hills, no shade, but be careful because No, on a serious note, because like
keep
if you see
bears.
If you see a baby bear, keep your distance. I know they cute, and typically baby bears are playful and they're friendly, but they mama's somewhere close, and that's the
they're
one you don't want
come running out. And if they see you even a meter close to the bear,
I wonder if the mama sent the baby bear to the store with a note like, "Hey, can you pack some bags with my son?"
You're stupid. What's the next story, Lillian?
Bring back some honey.
Can you bring some honey?
Next story. I don't know how familiar everyone is with the SpongeBob TV Nickelodeon series.
Are you kidding? SpongeBob is gangster.
Well, there was a new restaurant in Houston called the Rusty Crab, which is being sued for copying the Krusty Krab.
For copyright infringement.
Yep.
But it's the Rusty Crab, not the Krusty Krab.
Yeah. But they are advertising it as if this is part of the show and it's associated with them.
Why did they have Squidward working the register?
It's crazy because the restaurant looks exactly like SpongeBob's home. If you walk in, it's like a recreation of
a pineapple.
The show. It's everything inside. Like they have the blue walls. They have the.
So it doesn't look like the restaurant. It looks like his house.
Yeah,
it's
and they have a bunch of drinks. That's what they're also mad about.
Arches, it's the golden arcs.
They just changed that one letter.
Yeah, it's not the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick.
But theirs has 2 all
beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on the sesame seed bun. Our buns ain't got no sesame seeds. I'm sorry, Lillian. Go ahead.
Well, they are tricking people, saying that this restaurant is associated with the show, and they are selling many alcohol drinks with names from the show, such as like Bikini Bottom and like SpongeBob and things like that, which why the company is so mad because this violates the licensing policy for the trademarks of being a children's TV show.
Absolutely.
And
well, forget it being children's. No, you straight up, like, even if it was a children's show, like, you can't sell a drink, call it the Bikini Bottom, inside SpongeBob's house that is coincidentally called the Rusty Crab. You know what I mean? Like, come on, that's copyright infringement all day.
And then
like,
they're advertising, the very first Houston SpongeBob restaurant.
See, it's they
was it Sponge Robert or SpongeBob?
No, they said SpongeBob. So
man, I want to go there before it closes, though.
I know that's.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's pretty interesting because it's exact replica of, like, if you look inside SpongeBob's house, everything, the furniture, the walls, the decorations, complete.
Yeah, let me. I want to get a Sandy Cheeks with a.
No, that's what a drink is called as well.
Get out
and
of
then
here.
So many people are just paying super high prices for the food, and then all these alcohol drinks because all these kids are wanting to go see it, but then.
They're taking the kids like, you can't have a Sandy Cheeks. Listen, you gonna get a chocolate milk. I'm gonna get a Sandy Cheeks. You getting the chocolate, just regular old chocolate milk. Ain't no name on the chocolate milk. It's chocolate milk.
So they're luring the children. And
this ain't no Patrick milk. It's just
wow.
You know what? They could do a pink milk. Remember the pink milk, the strawberry quicks or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that one's good.
They could do one of those and call it a Patrick.
If they don't shut down right away.
Just saying. I'm just
saying.
They
don't go bankrupt because they're being sued by.
Do they have his pants hanging on the wall anywhere in there?
I have no idea. I only saw 2 photos.
No square pants.
Exactly. Do they got a little squirt, a little snail? A little
Gary.
Snail. Yeah, Gary.
Probably.
I know way too much about SpongeBob.
Way more than I do, ladies and gentlemen.
I have watched almost every episode. Like, legit, have watched almost. Like, I'm telling you, like, I could watch an episode and say the lines.
So is it a children's cartoon or is it more for?
You know what? I don't really believe, to be honest with you. Okay, this is except for some of the really, really like super. I hate the ones my niece watches that are. Hey, look at, like, they're really high pitched little, like, for little girls with little bunnies and butterflies. Other than those ones, shows. I don't believe cartoons are really for kids because all the jokes are for adults. All the jokes.
They really do have some hidden jokes.
I be watching them going, this. I can't believe. No, oh yeah, you're not. No, okay. Because the jokes are for adults. More than you. Yeah, the jokes are for adults. You know what I'm saying? And like, even if you look at our childhood, when you look back. For example, you might be a little too young, Lillian, but there was this one character called Pepe Le Pew.
Oh my
aka Governor Cuomo. He was a sexual predator.
For real.
He was. Tell me, Pepe Le Pew wasn't a sexual predator.
And he was a skunk chasing a cat.
You know what I mean? That dude was.
Well, you can have the comments on live to say yes or no. We'll have a poll on our Instagram.
Yeah, put the poll on the Instagram. Was Pepe Le Pew a sexual predator, and should he have been kicked out of the governor's office? That's all because dude, that dude was crazy. And then think about it, all the time, the cartoons, when a girl would walk by, they'd be right, and the eyes would pop out, and the tongue would roll down, and the girl would always have a Coke bottle and be very let me choose a word, voluptuous. Would be very voluptuous. It's this thing because you know what it is? It was a bunch of perverts in a room drawing cartoons. They couldn't get girls, so they were like, "Oh, this right." Think about Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit was somebody's fantasy. You know what I mean? Like girls, real women dress up for Halloween like Jessica Rabbit. That tells you something.
For real.
So it's just, I think cartoons, low key, legit, is not for kids. They made it like it's supposed to be for kids, but it's really not, because a lot of the subject matter, like when you really go back and think about it, like Snow White, she was living with 7 dudes. Come on, man.
Maybe the cereals for kids and the shows were for us adults to watch.
I'm just saying, like, if you look,
they target children for the marketing purposes.
But even what's the one? The one with the slipper? Was that who's the one with the
Cinderella?
Slipper? Yeah, Cinderella. Like, come on, man.
What was wrong with her?
Man, that was pimping at its finest. All these women come from around the kingdom, and like, look at my daughter. Look at my daughter. She thick. Look at my daughter. Hey, right? Am I wrong? Isn't that the premise of the story? The prince was looking for his, you know what I mean? And they were like, nah, you can't. Yeah, and the stepmother and the stepsister was like, nah, you can't go. We going to get our hoishness on, and we can't have you compete.
They're trying to get that money.
Yeah, they was trying. They gold diggers.
Trying to get chosen.
They was the original Baller Alert. You know what Baller Alert is, right? Chosen. You know that app Baller Alert? This girl made an app called Baller Alert for when, like, in major cities, when like basketball players and like ballers are in town. No. If you subscribe, your thing will go off and be like, so and so's in town. No. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
It's not like stalking at its finest. Like,
not if it's an app. That's the loophole. But
she did her research.
So it's just crazy, the things that people. I don't even know how we started. We started that talking about SpongeBob. Go to the next story, because I'm gonna go off on a tangent.
Well, this news story I found very interesting, as NASA is looking for 4 people who are willing to participate in their first 1-year simulation of living on Mars. They encourage many applicants to apply, as they are open through September 17th, and the mission will start on fall 2020. This mission will prepare astronauts for the challenges that they may face when they are actually going to Mars, and how the living situation may be, as they hope to have many more human missions in the future and possibly to live.
So I did see the story. And so basically you're right. It's the simulate. I mean, they're literally going to be in like a bubble. Like it's going to be like a bubble.
As if they're in Mars, like the people.
There was a movie like this in the 90s. I can't think of the name of the movie, but I think Pauly Shore, the comedian, was in it, where they were like in a bubble. But the point is that, like, imagine that's literally saying this. Hey, we're going to go stick you in a bubble for a year. You can't leave the bubble. You're going to be in the bubble. Like, people went crazy during quarantine. You feel me? Like, and
in their mind, they're not in the bubble because they're living and having a virtual scenery of being like at Mars.
Get out of here. You're in a bubble. People couldn't deal with quarantine. How are they going to get people to do this? Like, at least during quarantine, you could still go to the store and argue with people about your mask. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go nowhere in the bubble. You're going to be in the bubble. Like,
some people want to be outer space.
That sounds very interesting.
Would you do it, Lillian, really for a year? A year?
Well, you're not. I'm not going to actually be like in an enclosed bubble, but
yes, it's a giant bubble. Maybe it's a couple of acres big, but
one day your mind's you're gonna wake up and be like, I'm on Mars. You're gonna forget about the bubble.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question
I would be wanting to explore because this whole outlet must have been from the little robot that they've been like probably screening the whole planet, and so it's gonna be like very accurate.
Yeah, have you seen pictures of Mars? Have you seen pictures of Mars? There ain't no scenery.
Day 5, you're gonna be like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, there ain't no scenery.
Well, that's how you learn, like how they're gonna teach them, you know,
there
how
ain't no lakes. There ain't no lakes.
If they're gonna be sustainable to build to grow plants, and
you if they have to poop in a bag.
There,
you have to poop in a bag
on camera.
You have to poop in a bag and then keep it.
On
you gotta compost that stuff. You gotta compost.
On camera.
Yes, and then you gotta you want to sit on a bucket, Lillian. That's gonna happen. You gonna sit on a bucket. Do your business, and then you can't get. You got to keep it because you got to use it, and you're gonna grow your food in your poop. Mm-hmm. So put your poop and put your food in the poop because that's what you're gonna grow your food.
Well, at least maybe they'll take me on their next mission over there, since I already know how to do it.
Lillian, they're not taking you to Mars. I'm trying to tell you.
I know. I'm telling after the simulation.
He said, "I would be qualified, though, yo. I would be qualified."
Yeah, but I already have the experience of how to be on Mars, so you might as well take me with you.
Yeah, on a Tuesday too. We going to Mars on a Tuesday night. Let's roll.
Okay. First of all, do you know how long?
Theory is that I feel they're doing this because they are preparing for humans to live on another planet.
No, you know what they're preparing for? Earth. There's a bunch of rich white people that are like, look, we got the perfect idea how to get away from all these color folks. There's some planets out there with nobody on it. If we go up there and stick a flag, hey, and trust, they don't even like traveling that far, so they not gonna come. We can go ahead and go over there because I promise you, ain't gonna be no black folks in that bubble. Tell a brother like, hey, we gonna stick you in a bubble for a year.
No, friend. You ain't.
For a year.
Oh no, you ain't.
A year. Because guess what? You can't take a phone because your phone ain't gonna work on Mars.
Nope.
So ain't no Twitter, ain't no like, yo, right here, I'm on Instagram in the Mars bubble.
I don't care.
You can't do that. It's not on Mars. It ain't going down. It ain't going down. Like, you know who might be good in this bubble? People who've been to prison.
Hashtag
people who've been to prison. That's who might be good in the bubble.
The new orange.
Anyways, what's next, Lillian?
Well, the next news story is that the FDA has authorized the emergency use of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID vaccine to prevent COVID-19 in individuals of 16 years of age and older. But the full approval by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration could happen within these weeks that are coming up.
So
it's very close. And
I know all of us here are anti-vaxxers. So since we are anti-vaxxers, how do we feel about the FDA?
I don't know how you feel.
He said, "Don't speak for me." But it is really hope that this full approval of the COVID-19 vaccine could persuade more people to get vaccinated, since only 48% of the total U.S. population have currently been fully vaccinated.
I mean, we part of the 48%.
Yeah.
Listen, okay. Have you guys heard the most recent rumors that are going around?
feel special.
That like there's going to be a civil war that breaks out between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
Oh God,
is that actually happening? Is that formulating in the depths of Twitter?
That's what Facebook and Instagram said. The people that it's now going to be a thing. We're going to be like vaccinated, still vaccinated. Throwing up them bees, homie.
I haven't been on Twitter lately. I bet it's all happening there.
Hey, you vaccinated, homie? It's gonna be like gangbanging back in the day. Yo, homie,
on Twitter.
Yo, you vaccinated,
he got Twitter fingers.
You know what I'm saying?
And you got to keep your vaccination card with you because there's a lot of new laws coming up saying that you have to be vaccinated to show proof of vaccination. Especially like Canada is just doing a new policy where in order to fly, you have to have your card and show proof.
Or let's because people will hear that and run with that. It's not just vaccination. You either show proof of vaccination or that you've tested negative recently. So you could do a COVID test. So look, here's why these things are a little bit dangerous in the wording, right? Is that we joke, but on a serious note, people tend to take one piece of a sentence and run with that and make it this big giant thing that it truly isn't, right? Even though I feel my opinion is that people should get vaccinated, right? I also don't believe they should be forced, right? However, I do believe that if you're going to function in society, it's not a lot to ask to say, hey, if you don't get vaccinated, right, which you should, but if you don't, then the alternative to that is you got to take this test frequently, just so we know who we're dealing. You know what I mean? Because like with especially all of these different companies and businesses that are requiring now that people get vaccinated to work there, please understand it's not political. If I own a business, I don't want to shut down my whole business again because someone came and was positive for COVID. I know a lot of you guys don't believe that COVID doesn't exist. Please explain to me, for all the 9 people, all those families that I know of people that died, explain it to me so I could tell them why it was a lie, why their loved one died. And I don't mean to keep going back to that. And even like, yo, I survived COVID and whatever. But you know how many people have lingering effects from this thing? They had it like a year ago and still got like just little issues. Like, you know what? Something just isn't right. Like certain things are off. Like this thing is real. And I know people want it's not real. It's a conspiracy. Well, something is happening. Something, even if it ain't COVID, something is happening. And as a society, it's not a lot to ask that this is not Nazi Germany where we're saying, the Jews got to wear the Star of David, right? This is just a global situation because it's not just the US. It's a global situation where we're saying, hey, for the health of the overall community, even though we feel it's better that you're vaccinated, if you're not, at bare minimum, get tested. I don't think that's a lot to ask. Maybe I'm crazy though.
And so as you pointed out, how we take parts of these conversations and run with them, as people do the scriptures as well. They do that to the scriptures. Right. Take one scripture and they just break it all apart, but you don't read what happened before and what happened afterwards. What from a spiritual part, right? Let's talk about that, because on the prayer line this morning, we had a conversation about what about people who believe, what they believe about their spirituality and they don't take the vaccine because of that.
Okay. You want me to answer? Okay. I got to answer.
Yeah.
Because I talk to these spirit, and I'm putting quotes, y'all, spiritual people all the time. Okay. Because I love when people bring up, so I'm going to quote the scripture. You ready? They be like, the word says that by his stripes, we are healed. Right. And they pull out these scriptures like that. And he is a healer. Jesus is the great physician. Hallelujah. Right. And look, I know the word. I get all of that. Right.
Right.
But here's the facts. Okay. Before Jesus, during the time of Jesus, and since after Jesus walked on this earth, right? For those of you who are people of faith, I know some people don't believe in Jesus, so it's irrelevant to them. But for those of you who do believe, those of you who are of faith, guess what? There were sick people before him. There were sick people during his time, even though he did do miracles, right? He didn't heal. Like, it wasn't like the Bible didn't say that all of Jerusalem was healed, right? It doesn't say that. And since, he ascended, there's still people who've been sick. You know what else God created? God created the ability for doctors and scientists and chemists to come up with medicines. And yes, I agree that, pharmaceutical companies are corrupt and there's more money in the treatment than there is in the cure. But nevertheless, the truth is that these doctors, guess what, are being used by the hand of God. Those are facts. Like, you can't say that they're not. You know what I mean? And so, all throughout history, you can't say, I don't believe I like by his stripes I'm healed, and then get sick and go to the hospital. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, it doesn't work. Because if you're going to take that stance, this is what I tell people. If you're going to take that stance, you know what? I have Jesus. I don't need the vaccine. Then don't go get checkups. Don't take aspirin or Tylenol. Don't, if you get cancer, stay home because you got Jesus. Stay home. Okay. If you get hit by a car, stay home. You got Jesus. By his stripes, you were healed. You know what I mean? Like, it's asinine. And
I heard the best example this morning, and he said, don't put your seatbelt on, or don't put your seatbelt on. And if you believe, if you got that much faith, then don't wear your seatbelt.
Yo, not only that, let's be honest. Seatbelts are government mandated. I'm old enough to remember. So are you, Farhan.
Yeah,
there was a time, Lillian. Let me explain to you. When I was a little young one, Lillian. When I was a little young one, boy, we would throw them 83 in the car. Didn't nobody have seatbelts on. You could throw kids in the trunk. You could throw kids in that little back.
There was everybody riding in the truck and the truck back.
Yes, in the back of the truck. Yeah, there was no regulations. It was a beautiful life. You know what I'm saying?
Look out there. We could walk around in the back, all of it.
Matter of fact, a lot of cars didn't even come with seatbelts. Cars didn't even come with seatbelts. And then when they started putting seatbelts in cars, there was a long time people were cutting the seatbelts out. They were literally cutting, like, I don't want these seatbelts, and they would cut them out, right? And then the government mandated it. And they were like, I'm not going to wear no seatbelts. I've been my whole life driving, and I've never had a problem with, But the facts are, right? Because people go, that's like somebody saying, people have still died in accidents with a seatbelt on. Right? People will say that.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be the rebuttal to.
But it's a stupid rebuttal, because when you do the numbers, the actual numbers, your life is far more secure, whether it's uncomfortable or not, with a seatbelt on. Because I don't know if you've ever seen an accident where someone has been ejected from the vehicle.
Oh, yeah. My mom always used to show me and my sisters and brothers like that video, just so that we can learn why we should.
Hold on, your mom was showing you.
Just a video on YouTube where there was an accident, like the person just flying through the window and be like, see, they didn't wear their seatbelt, and that's gonna happen if you don't wear your seatbelt.
Wow.
But it's true though. Like, I've seen an accident, and it freaked me out because I couldn't understand how the car was like, if you're looking driving on the freeway, the far left lane, so the carpool lane, the person's body ended up on the right shoulder. Right? They hit that middle divider, right? So they hit the middle divider and flew out the window and landed in the like I said, that what do you call it? The side lane, the shoulder. I'm sorry, the shoulder on the right side. So from the left all the way to the right. And I was like,
dang,
that's wild. Right? Because you because I saw the accident happen. And they hit hard, but I just didn't I didn't know they hit that hard, or how hard do you have to hit? Far? Yeah, like how hard do you have to hit? For, you know what I mean? And literally, it was one of those where the girl's leg was twisted back, behind her. You know what I mean? And it was just and she was laying there because we stopped. A few of us stopped and got out and called 911 and tried to help.
Yeah.
And we're talking to her, trying to keep her calm, but we're looking at her yo, this is she's
like,
not.
don't look at yourself.
Like, yeah, she's not okay at all. Like, she's not, and she, I'm assuming, I can't be, but I'm assuming she was inebriated, right? And like, she had, there's this, they call it the death blood, where it's thick. That thick blood was coming out of her mouth. You know what I mean?
It's a wrap.
So anyways, the point is that I'd rather take my chances with the seatbelt. As much as I hate them, I hate seatbelts.
I hate them too.
Yeah, and my siblings hated seatbelts too, and like they would never want to put them on, and like, or they would take them off, and then so my mom would just do it. She would brake check, and then just all go forward, and like, "Whoa, why did you have your seatbelt on?"
Mom's is cold, brake checking everybody.
This is the last thing I'll say on seatbelts, and then we go to the next story. But like, have you ever seen those videos? Because this really changed my life. I never used to wear seatbelts in the back seat, right? I was like, they're gonna see me in the front. I'm forced to, but in the back seat, I was like, I'm not gonna wear no seatbelt in the back seat. Yo, Google or YouTube, no seatbelt in the back seat. Yo, the way
the video my mom used to show.
Yo, the way people bounce around.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's scared like that. That freaked me out. I couldn't watch more than 4 videos, and there was a ton of them. And I just was like, the way, like, literally, it just completely, the way people bounce around like they're nothing, just almost like a pinball machine. Like they're just hitting the roof and the sides in the car. And I was like, oh no. So now I be in like Uber. I was like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, play. I'm putting my seatbelt on.
But not just the bouncing around, but the stuff inside the car that could take a head off or chop an arm off.
And all of that was to say, get vaccinated.
Protect yourself.
Put on.
Always that weird commercials has a long story and everything, and then the ending sentence, which is what the whole commercial is about, has nothing to do with.
It's relatable. We're trying to give people, different versions of what this looks like to take care of yourself. That's all.
I just know that I'm tired of. This is the last thing I'll say about the vaccination. I'm tired of anti-vaxxers telling me, I hate that you guys are always judging us. And y'all the ones being the judgers. Ain't nobody judging you. We just saying, please, can you get back? You guys are the ones that I hate you guys. You vaccinated people are brainwashed. I'm like, yo, like
we have chips inside our arms.
Yeah, we have
chips. Tell us what to say.
Our DNA's been altered. If I hear one more pastor say this is the precursor to the Antichrist, I might throw a rock.
We were sticking quarters on our forehead and sticking to our foreheads when I was like 12. So you can make a coin stick on you easy.
What are we talking about, Lillian? I don't even know what we're talking about.
It's the revolution.
Well, there was this interesting news story that Marcus Bryce, an air traffic controller, states that video games got him his job, and FAA wants more gamers as they start recruiting the next generation of air traffic controllers.
Wow.
So if you have a kid at home who's always playing video games and you are a parent that feels like they have no future with that, well, this could be a possible amazing job and career.
You know what? I saw that story and I will concur. I'm going to use I will concur. What? Yes, sir. Okay. That gaming is the future, right? So for example, Amazon, the world's largest employer, is going to start implementing by the year 2022 their drone delivery service. Yes. Which means they need kids who know how to use a joystick, basically, who know how to, that thumb action, because they're going to start delivering packages to like backyards. So, to help in curbing like the thefts of Amazon packages. So that's one thing. Like right now, there's over, I think, 150 college and universities across the country, including Harvard and Princeton, who have an official gaming team at their school.
A lot of colleges are,
and you can get a full ride scholarship as a gamer to Harvard. Okay.
Yes, there's many scouts who will go into these different competitions that a lot of people are enrolling in, and they will scout for new people and get them on their team and pay full rides to go to their universities and colleges.
So I'm just saying, look, some of y'all parents out there are yelling at your kids. You better get on that video game. You know what? We need some.
So this guy, Marcus Bryce, he says that the air traffic control is much like certain games that he always used to play growing up and even now as an adult, and that the annual wage is over $138,000.
You know what? You need to tell your kids right now, I don't want to see you until you played 6 hours of video games. I need you. No, get back in your room. You ain't going outside. You ain't going outside until you don't play some more video games. Get up in there.
Then they're gonna be like, I don't want to play no more games.
You mean to tell me that you're gonna put the lives of all those passengers on those planes into the hands of some video gamer? That's what you're telling me?
Yes, they know what they're doing.
That's what you're telling me.
Look, at least they'll pay attention to their job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You want someone who's
all that pre-training that I've been doing, like this guy Marcus Bryce, who was speaking for all this, said that he was prepared through all those years of gaming, and that when he got there and was doing the job, it was just exactly like it. And that's how he excelled in that department.
We're gonna have some mamas now in the future. I'm so proud of my baby. He a video gamer. My baby, he just look at my baby. He a video gamer.
Let me go find my Sega. Where's my Sega? I got my Sega in the garage. I'm going back to the Sega
you gotta
Genesis.
dust off all your Xboxes, your PlayStation controllers, bust them out. Here they are.
Look at Lillian with her controller. Yeah. See, these kids will never know what it was to have to blow in a Nintendo cartridge. All you millennials got no clue what that was like having to tap it. Get a Q-tip with some alcohol. Put the Q-tip with the alcohol up in.
To please play, please catch, please.
Yes.
The hacks again, the toothpaste and rub it on the CD and the alcohol and make it
what
just
you
so.
Know about CDs? What you know about CDs, Lily?
The toothpaste.
I guess she was a rockabilly. She had to go to all that old school.
Huh?
Okay, so I got a question.
I don't know much about me.
If there was one thing you could bring back from like the 80s or 90s, what would you bring back? One thing. What would you bring back from the 80s or 90s? I'm talking about like, would you bring back parachute pants? Would you bring back the Walkman? You know what I mean? Would you bring back big giant Aquanet hair, ladies? You know, the big giant Aquanet hair.
Okay, I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? Would you bring back acid wash jeans? What was it? Gerbo jeans. Z Cavaricci. Would you bring back Z Cavaricci with pointy dress shoes? You know what I'm saying? What would you bring back, ladies? Ooh, for you Latinas, all the crunchy hair.
Oh,
you know, the crunchy hair, the crunchy.
Oh.
I was thinking about that. The big poofy hair and
just
the
real crunchy. And it just look wet all day, but it's hard. It's you can throw a rock at it and bounce right off. Yeah. What would you bring back from? You know what I would bring back? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay, you go first.
What would you bring back?
90s R&B. 90s R&B.
Jodeci.
Forever, my lady.
Let me hear you say yeah.
It means so much to me. I'm holding you close, keeping you warm.
I would love to see all the photo shoot backgrounds and get those back.
Are you talking about the glamour shot pictures?
With the big old hearts and with the couples all standing there like.
Yes, the glamour shot pictures and all the best friends, the group of friends that were all dressed alike with the same outfits on.
Yeah.
What are you bringing back, Ron?
That's what I would love.
She brought back the pictures, the glamour shots. I brought back 90s R&B. What are you bringing back?
I would love to do a photo shoot like that.
Shouts out to my moms.
Okay.
I want to bring back my hair.
For all you listening on the radio, he ain't got no hair right now.
I'm going to bring back my hair, and then I'm going to bring back the S curl. With the shag.
Wow. With the shag?
That's what I used to rock, the S curl with the shag. With the shag, buddy. Yes.
Don't do it, not the shag.
That's what I'm bringing back, baby.
Wow.
Bald, tapered all the way back, and then I had a poof of hair, and then my mom would comb.
Did you wear kung fu?
Yes. The karate shoes.
How did I know you wore the karate shoes with the shirt?
my mom, we go by the S curl. My mom would I sit down in the chair with the towel on, and my mom would take that S curl and comb it through the back of my shag. Man, it'd be down my shoulders, yo.
Wow. I wish I had
and the Stay Soft fro.
Oh my God. I wish I had a picture.
I'm bringing back the shag, yo. I'm bringing back the shag.
Well, all those cartoons, though. You know how many great cartoons in the 80s and 90s that are now like
Thundercats.
But and you barely you can't even find them to even see like reruns. Those are great.
Man, okay, I'm about to get nostalgic. This is well, no, it's not flashback. So it's what is Saturday called? Just sadly reminiscing Saturdays. Sadly reminiscing.
It's sad day.
Sad day.
It's sad day.
Well, we got like 4 minutes left, and this show go by so fast. You know what I want to ask y'all, man? Summer's almost over. The summer of 2021. How do y'all want to end? Like, how do y'all want to end this year? Like, what do you foresee for the rest of this year? Do you think we're going to continue to have issues all the way to the end of the year with COVID? Do you think that things are going to pick up and get better? Do we got to wait till 2022? What are your guys' predictions, man? We're more than half the way through the year. What do you guys think in 2021 is going to look like?
You want to go first?
Huh, Lillian? What do you think? Yeah, Lillian. What do you think?
I think, well, obviously it can go any way, but I hope that it gets better with the new vaccinations and, like booster shots that are coming soon as well. And I think it could possibly turn around and get better so that I can go on stage and do a musical. That's my hope. Finally go back on stage. I miss that.
What about you, Farhan?
I already have an attitude anyway because I spent my 50th birthday last year in quarantine.
Oh, not the big 50.
Wow.
And I got my passport renewed and I still
couldn't go nowhere.
Right. Yeah. So I need to do over. I need to go back to 2020. I need to be on somebody's beach.
No, we ain't going back to 2020. 2020. Ooh, no, not 2020.
I need to be on somebody's ocean.
Well,
be on somebody's ocean.
I'm gonna say this. I believe. Call me the eternal optimist.
Oh, God.
Call me Mr. Sunshine.
Oh,
but God. I believe that our best days are in front of us. I believe that you are going to see exceedingly and abundantly more than you could ask or imagine, blessings and breakthroughs in your life. I'm sorry, but I believe.
Get off. Man,
I believe that all the toxic energy that was.
You believe the children are our future too,
I do believe the children are the future. I believe that no matter what losses that we experience and what disappointments and what discouragements we went through, I still believe. Off. Man, listen, I still believe that as long as you got breath in your lungs, your best days are in front of you and you survive all of your worst days.
Get off this air.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Farhan is going to be in a good mood one day. You know what I mean?
And he's going to get his big 51 travel the world.
I believe he's going to get, I still believe Farhan can get brand new hair growth, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it with my whole heart. With my whole heart.
In 2022, huh?
Hey, and it's going to start before the year, New Year's Eve, you're going to boop, 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 boop.
That's about all I got right now.
Hey,
I mean, we better get good because I'm turning 21 next year. So I mean, I want to go somewhere.
Welcome to my world.
So listen, y'all. No matter where you're at, no matter what you believe, no matter what's been frustrating you, I just want to encourage you to do this. Look around you and take in everything that is beautiful. Yo, if you got kids. As bad as your kids are, appreciate your kids because there's people who wish they could have some. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let me look out the window.
Take a moment and smell the roses.
Listen, just appreciate that. Look, no matter how and this is for me, no matter how jacked up this country is and how many things are wrong, you know, we still live in a place where dreams can come true and where the impossible can become possible. Okay. And so listen, y'all, it's time that we put our differences aside and just say, hey, I may think you're crazy, but I love you anyway. You know what I mean? So with that, I hope you guys have a ridiculously amazing weekend. And as always, I'm Jay Love. That's Grumpy Ferran, intern Lillian. This is the Revolution Radio Show. And we want to remind you, reach for your best, reach for success, but most of all, reach for God, because God is love and love is everything, man. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a blessed week.
Y'all. Peace.
Oh my God.